Holy smokes. I can't believe this is actually happening. I'm actually recording the first ever podcast episode of the Uncle Tito podcast. Hi. Oh my lord. Is this actually really happening? I've wanted to do a podcast since I was 16 probably. I'm now 24. I turn 25 tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. So I thought quarter of a century, son. Quarter of a century, might as well do something that makes you uncomfy. So here I am, putting myself out there. And I don't know if you can tell, but I am really uncomfy right now. But yeah, greatness from small beginnings, fam. Anyway, so yeah, I've been wanting to start a podcast since I was 16. Never really had the never really had the capability to do so, but hey, good things take time. 9 years. It took me 9 years to finally start a podcast. Almost a decade, son. Almost a decade. But yeah, I think what really got me into it was because growing up we had this katulong. Her name's Ate Pearl. Ate Pearl, she can't accomplish anything at all unless there's FM radio in the background. So yeah, that's what got me into it. Every time I'm with her, she's always blasting FM radio. So I would hear the DJs, and then eventually, when I was in high school, I would listen to Magic 89.9. I would listen to Joy Spring, Game Day with Boom, Nico Ramos, Sam O, Mo Twister. And then in college, I got into the Joe Rogan experience, as cliche as it sounds. But yeah, here I am now, trying to make something out of nothing. 9 years! Why the heck did it take me 9 years? But nonetheless. So yeah, quarter of a century, 25 years old. I turn 25 tomorrow. It's such a weird feeling kasi entering this year, I had great plans for my birthday. I wanted to celebrate it kasi it's a quarter of a century. It's not just like any other birthday, it's a milestone. 25 years, that's no joke. That's something that's substantial. So, I had great plans for my birthday. But leading up to it, leading up to it, I kind of changed my mind kasi in order to celebrate your in order to celebrate, there must be something to celebrate. And I just don't think there's enough to celebrate. I wouldn't want to celebrate mediocrity, so we'll see about my 26th birthday. I hope I do well enough this year that I feel like I deserve to celebrate my 26th birthday. Because I feel like I shouldn't reward how I've been living my life for the past 25 years. It's anything but terrible. It's mediocre at best. So is that really worth a celebration? I mean, as I've said kanina, it's a milestone, pero at the same time, is it really? So I've been giving it thought recently, and now I don't know. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I still don't know. I mean, I'm unsure about it if I should celebrate or not. I try to balance things naman. Like, I know that I shouldn't be too cynical, but at the same time, if it's not worth a celebration, then it's not. I wouldn't wanna reward behavior I don't like. So if I haven't been behaving like I should be, or I feel like I haven't been doing good enough recently, I wouldn't want to celebrate that. But yeah, quarter of a century, son. Who knew we'd make it? And I'm out here. I'm trying to make things happen. Trying to get out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to put myself out there. But it's tough, man. It's tough out here. It's not easy. I mean, to be 25 and have nothing to show for it, man, it's not easy. Especially when you see others, and they're like achieving these great things, and somehow you feel like you're stuck or left behind. Ah, that hurt to admit. But yeah, here's to leaving our comfort zone. Um, what else, man? Man, this episode sucks. But yeah, it's my first ever podcast episode, so bear with me. Also, one of the things that kinda made me decide na maybe my birthday is not worth celebrating is that I got into an accident um last week. I wouldn't say it's far from life threatening, pero it's not nothing. I don't want to go into all the details of what happened, whose fault it is, pero long story short, nabangga ako ng kotse habang nagmumotor ako. It's one thing to like tell the story of what happened to someone, to a friend, to a coworker, to a relative. Pero I got sick of it, of telling the story over and over. Not because of I'm not sure why exactly, pero I got tired of it. Just telling the same story over and over. Pero it's also one thing to like sit down or lay in my bed at night and think about all the tiny details of what happened, of what I could have done differently, of what she could have done differently, of how I could have saved myself, or how I could have handled the situation better. Because I'm not proud. Because when I fell down, when I got up, I was in shock, so I wasn't really talking to the girl that hit me. But when I saw my injury, I have a third degree burn here on my leg. When I saw my leg, I started to freak out and I was saying a bunch of things that I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, it's not easy to lay down in bed at night and just run the details of what happened in my head. It's it's mentally exhausting to say the least. I wonder I wonder what would have happened if she didn't stop when I was on the ground now. If I was going a little bit if I was going a little bit faster. It just gives you a new perspective in life. It's almost like it's such a humbling experience cuz I'm very hard on my body, right? I would run 10, 12, 16 kilometers in a day and still work out, but well, I used to do that. Not these days, but yeah, I'm very hard on my body, but that experience, it kind of made me feel Weak is not the right word for it. I think fragile. Like I'm not as tough as I thought I was. And it's one hell of a thought to have when you're alone, laying on your bed at night. Yeah, and I don't blame her, the girl that hit me. She's a very nice person. I don't wanna talk trash. She's very very nice. Like beyond what I deserve, but I don't know, man. It's just I feel like sometimes I should be mad at her, but I know I shouldn't be because it it was an accident. Nobody wanted for that to happen, naman. I sure do know that I didn't want that to happen, pero it did. And for the last couple of days, I've been in pain, physical pain. I can deal with with physical pain, naman, pero it's like the mental aspect of it. It's exhausting. Exhausting doesn't the word exhausting doesn't even isn't enough to explain just how much it drains you. So yeah, quarter of a century, son. I turn quarter of a century tomorrow. 25 years. Man, what have I been doing with my life? Why do I have nothing to show for it? Why do I have nothing to show for it? 25 years. Huh. It just hit me right now. One of the reasons why I don't want to celebrate my birthday too is because when I think back to the younger version of myself, the 25-year-old eyes that I pictured way back isn't the 25-year-old eyes I will be tomorrow. And I'm not exactly sure what to make of that. Do I What do I do? I mean, I have an idea on what to do, pero I don't know where to start. Where do I start? Do I look for a new job? Do I go back to school? What do I need to do? Where do I start? Well, I guess it starts with leaving my comfort zone and putting myself out there. So yeah, I gotta give myself that. I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I guess this is my start. I guess so. Yeah, and I wanted to invite lots of people like from college, some maybe from high school, some from work, some from Toyota when I was in Toyota. But it's like the first few people that I tried to invite, it's either I can no longer contact them or I no longer feel comfortable talking to them because it's been so long since I've talked to them, or they just flat out said they can't come because they have their own life to live. But man, wouldn't you want to celebrate with me? It's a quarter of a century, son. Quarter of a freaking century. That's 25 years. But yeah, they have other things to do. And I'm not mad at them. I understand. And with the other people that I try to invite, it's some of it is I know that most of it is my fault and why they wouldn't they wouldn't want to come. Hi. Well, here's to making history. Oh yeah, and what's I wouldn't wanna say sad. What's disappointing too is I started like a moto vlog channel kasi nga 'di ba nagmomotor ako. So gusto kong i-document yung pagmomotor ko, and since I love music, I want to incorporate music dun sa mga videos. So I started that thing. But but I even had a logo made na. And the slogan for the logo, it says rubber side down. Rubber side down is basically it basically means to ride safe, to keep your tires on the road, right? To keep your balance. Then the accident happened. Then I don't know what about it exactly. It's only when I'm alone and when I think back to the accident that it makes me feel so, I don't know exactly what I would call it. It's I feel so uncomfy thinking running the scenario back in my head when I'm alone. Ay. Oh, and I also have it on video, the whole thing. But I don't want to post it online for everyone to see because it's such a humiliating experience. And I know those kind of videos they get clicks, pero it's just a cheap experience. Parang na-aksidente ako, I'll use this to get attention. No. No, I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think it's something that I should just keep to myself or the close friends. Or if you're someone that wants to see the video and I know you personally, yeah, maybe I'd show you. Cause why not? But yeah, so yeah, I have a logo na, I have the slogan na rubber side down. The irony no, the rubber side down. Tas ako yung tas after 3 days of having the logo done, ma-aksidente ako. But yeah, anyway, so yun na nga, I have plans pa sana for that kind of stuff with my bike, pero I'll admit I don't want to get back on my bike. I don't know, and I don't know for how long. I don't know if I want to get out. I don't know. I don't know. Just I don't want to get back on my bike for the meantime. I want to take some time off. I don't know if it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. God knows how long. Pero one thing is for sure, I don't want to get back on my bike as early as now. And what sucks, because it's very the reason why I bought a motorcycle in the first place was because it's so difficult to get to work. Like to commute here in the Philippines, it's hell. And I mean it, man. I mean it. If you've ever had to commute around Molino, Las Piñas, Daang Hari, you know what I'm talking about. It's hell over here. That's why I bought a bike. So now I'm still uncomfy to use my bike. I don't know how I'll get to work. I mean, I can commute nga, pero I remember back then nung wala pa akong motor, every time na magko-commute ako, kiskisan kami ng tuhod nung nasa harapan ko sa jeep. Kiskisan kami ng braso nung katabi ko sa jeep. Yung ine-exhale niya, ini-inhale ko. Yung lagkit ng katawan niya, lagkit na rin ng katawan ko. Kulang na lang, ikasal na kami dun eh. Iisang tao na kami. Alam mo yun, kalma, naiinis ka eh. Kung mainis, ice, kalma. I have no idea how long I have been recording na. It says on the camera 23 minutes, pero it doesn't feel like 23. But yeah, quarter of a century, son. Quarter of a century. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I have so much more to say, but it's just not coming to me right now. I should have probably left the accident part of the story. I should have told that on the later part of the podcast because now I can't think properly. Hi. So what happened was kasi nabangga ako and she was slow lang naman and so was I. So I tipped over pero she kind of kept going pa for a little bit. So the lower part of my body, like from the knee down, was under her car na, and so was my bike. My right leg, it got stuck in between my exhaust pipe and her front bumper. So since it got stuck, I was panicking kasi I felt na my exhaust pipe was burning my leg. So I yanked my leg out, pero when I yanked it out, it was my foot that got stuck. Luckily, luckily, the shoes that I was wearing was ano eh, running shoes. So when I pulled on my leg, on my foot, nahubad lang siya. Pero naiwan siya dun sa exhaust pipe and the bumper. Wala na halos natira dun sa sapatos na yun. If hindi ko siya nahubad, pa ako yung nasunog dun. Or or if somehow hindi ko nahila talaga yung paa ko tas dumidiretso pa rin siya, baka nabali yung paa ko. And that's something na kakasabi ko lang ayokong isipin to no, pero dito na tayo eh. Something that I really value in my life is my mobility. That's why I run, that's why I bought a bike so I can cycle. I remember I've always had this thought, lalo na kapag tumatakbo ako. Minsan kasi tumatakbo ako, may mga times tumatakbo ako. Ngayon mga 5 na lang, 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers. Pero back then, tumatakbo ako everyday mga 10, 12 kilometers, 18, 16. So I have a lot of time to think. Minsan iniisip ko habang tumatakbo ako, when do I call it quits? Alam mo yun, kumbaga kapag tumanda ka, paano mo masabi na okay ka na sa buhay mo? Ako, ang basis ko talaga is, alam mo yun, parang okay na ako, satisfied na ako sa buhay ko. Kapag umabot na ako sa point na hindi ko na kaya maglakad, kung tinutulak na lang ako sa wheelchair, parang okay na yun. Alam mo yun, parang thank you Lord sa buhay ko, pwede mo na akong kunin. Kasi ayoko na ng ganun. Kung di ko na kaya maglakad, di ko na kaya tumakbo, di ko na kaya lumangoy, parang ayoko na. Parang sulit na ako doon. Life well lived na yun para sa akin. Pero ngayon, nung na-aksidente ako, parang naisip ko, paano kung ngayon ka mabaldado? Paano kung ngayon ka maputulan ng paa? Ano, life well lived na yun? You're 25. And kanina lang sinasabi mo sa sarili mo, you have nothing to show for it. So ano, pag ganun, quits na yun, goods na yun. Ewan ko, di ko rin alam. Dami kong di alam sa buhay, kaya nakaka-stress eh. Di ba pwede lahat ng bagay sa buhay alam ko na lang? Ang ano kasi, mentally taxing pag yung mga bagay-bagay na gusto mong malaman, hindi mo alam. Yung iba naman gusto mong malaman, di mo naman dapat alamin. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung difference ng dalawa sa mga bagay-bagay sa buhay ko. Kaya ang hirap Hindi ko alam kung dapat ba alam ko yun, or dapat ba alamin ko, or dapat ba hindi ko na alamin. I don't know where to draw the line. Quarter of a century, son. Quarter of a century, son! Quarter of a freaking century. That's 25 years. But yeah, I'm lucky na it's just this. Na it's just a burn. It's not anything worse. And that's God, man. God's plan, baby. God's plan. Quarter of a century, son. Praise be unto the Most High. Sheesh. Quarter of a century, it makes me think back to all of the every little thing that I've been through in life. And I'm only 25. I have so much more to experience. Praise be unto the Most High, baby. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Praise be unto the Most High, baby. Rubber side down. I, I hope there's an episode 2 to this. Because honestly, even though it was very uncomfy, it was also very cathartic. Praise be unto the Most High, baby. Rubber side down.
Whenever you're down